Let's go!
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
What's up, show no boy? Yeah, Milwaukee keep the beat in. Yeah, I'm coming down with the key to Decatur. East Atlanta slab rider, heavy grinder for paper. Yeah, city slicker, heavyweight in the game. Froze with the earlobes, heavyweight in my chain. Yeah, hitting the game where you miss blacking. Got the drove for the low, that's what my nips be sacking. My shell toes, pedal Chevys and bows. White letters on the cutlass with my
A little bit of music from your down your way there, Mr. Little. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the Trifectas Unleashed presented by Real Take No Holds Barred Sports, a.k.a. a Deuces Wild production. How's everybody doing tonight? Still playing a little bit under the weather. I think a couple of us are a little under the weather. Just trying to make it through, man. Gutting it through another performance here. We'll see how it goes. We might try to make the show a little bit shorter so we can get some good rest here. But nonetheless, we want to do this for you guys. You know, we have fun with it. You guys give us enough stuff to talk about. So, again, bipolar weather in Maine. It's 50 degrees out after being negative 28 the other day. Whatever. Most of the snow's gone now. So, anyways, let's get my buddy on. By the way, I'm Alex Washington, a.k.a. A-Wash, reporting from Dirty Ass Basement Studios, right in, Auburn, Maine. Let me bring in my boy from the Dirty South, Adam Little. How you feeling, buddy? How you doing?
I feel terrible, but I'm going to tough it out for the nation.
Jordan,
we're going to work through this one.
Jordan-esque performance tonight?
Yep, coming out with the flu. I'm putting up 55, 10 boards, and 8 assists on this one.
What would LeBron do? LeBron wouldn't even play, would he?
Oh, no, LeBron would go 82 points.
Oh, my God.
53 rebounds.
Maybe we should stop the show right now. Like, maybe you should go to bed. I think this cold's got right to you. Now you're just talking nonsense.
No, he would murder it, man. Remember he came out with the cramps and everything, and he played through it, got carried up. He didn't get wheeled off in a wheelchair and then come back out in a wheelchair and then decide he wanted to be.
I know you're not talking about
somebody.
My boy. I know you're not talking about my boy.
Oh, I'm talking about the lie, a.k.a. Paul Pierce.
Cut it out. That was a gutsy performance. Cut it out. Just don't. Okay? Just don't.
I'll go back earlier in the NFL season when Gronk went off on the cart. I was just waiting for him to come back into the game and catch 3 touchdown passes.
My heart sunk into my asshole after that happened. Oh,
I'm sure all of Patriots Nation did.
Football season's over, but we'll get into that here pretty soon. Got a little bit to talk about tonight. Good to have you on the show, by the way.
Thank you.
We're going to face the nation. We always face the nation. You guys deserve that. We're going to face the nation. There's some NBA trade rumors within some of the questions that we got. But we're going to still talk NBA rumors, really. Trade rumors, buyout rumors, stuff like that. Trade deadlines on Thursday. So, could see some movement. There was some trades today. Adam's going to get into that in a few minutes. But we're going to get into some of that. We're going to preview our baseball show, which we're going to be putting on Thursday or Friday, give or take. We'll record it Thursday, put it out for you guys on Friday. Spring training's here, baby. So we're going to give a preview of the show. Yeah, go ahead, man.
I was just saying, yes, spring training's here. It's the best time of the year.
Yeah, exactly. Baseball, baby. So on the, before we preview, we'll talk about, some of the stuff that we'll talk about on the show, like winners and, potential candidates for certain awards and who's going to make the playoffs and yada yada. So we'll preview that a little bit, and then we'll have the show itself on Thursday and put it out for you guys on Friday. So what do you want to do, man? You want to face the nation, or you want to get into some news first, or what's up?
No, man, let's face the nation. Let's
face the
see
nation.
what they got going on.
Let's face it.
Nation of domination. Nation of domination.
You know what time it is. Let's face the nation. Got some good questions tonight. Let's face the nation.
Let's go.
Let's go. So, first one's from Elizabeth, a.k.a. Mrs. Washington, the co-founder of Alex Washington. That's how that works. My mom wants to know if we're going to hear anything come from the Deflategate case this spring and summer. Because, right now we're not really hearing about it. We're hearing a little bit of Peyton Manning's genitals on that young lady's face in Tennessee right now. But it's actually a pretty good question. And, she wants to know if this is going to get swept under the rug, if it's going to get brought back up and make a huge embarrassment of the league again.
I'll start with this. It's only going to get swept under the rug if it goes in Tom Brady's favor. If it comes out where they reverse a decision and go with Goodell's original decision, it's going to be on the opening news of every outlet that there is. It's going to be just as big as it was before and just as annoying.
That's what concerns me, because once they go back to court, because they are going back to court, if they decide to push this on further to, what is it? It's not Supreme Court. What the hell is it? I can't remember where, but if it goes to that, it's going to be another long summer of this crap about air. Well, it's not about air. It's about Roger Goodell's rights to suspend player and whether he did the right thing. So we're just going to hear about it. So I'm hoping that they either settle or someone just drops it and just gives up, because if we have to listen to this all summer again, it's going to be a pain in the ass. It's bad enough that we're going to have to listen to Peyton Manning put his nutsack and his taint on that lady at Tennessee's face.
I don't mean to laugh, because that's kind of disgusting, but when I first read about it, I kind of chuckled a little bit, because I found it quite funny that Peyton people would do something like that.
And that's what's the report came out. I was like, Peyton Manning, give me a break. This guy's got Papa John's under his freaking belt. He's got now 2 Super Bowls. He's been the face of the NFL since he's been here. So now all of a sudden this is going to come out. This lady broke. She don't work there anymore, does she?
No, she actually went to a different school, and then when this book came out, which brought up all of this shit again, she actually got fired.
From the school that she's at now, or was just recently at?
Yeah, her current employer let her go because of what was said about her.
In Peyton Manning's book?
Yeah.
What? That's messed up.
It is.
Either way, it's a messed up situation. Like Adam said, we don't.
Peyton's got the world by the nutsack, man. He
right.
does he can do no wrong.
No. So, like you had said, we don't mean to laugh about the situation at all, because it is obviously a serious situation and one that could get out of hand if they don't settle again. Because I guess there was a payoff there so that people would keep their mouth shut. But obviously it's in the book, so I'm going to put that on Peyton. But we don't mean to laugh at it, but it's like you look at the story, and for one, it's pretty childish. Is it funny? Kind of. Is it childish? Absolutely, even being an 18, 19-year-old. But, what are you doing?
It's frat boy humor.
I get it. Well, okay. I don't get it, but I get it. It's frat boy humor. It's a joke. Supposedly he was getting ready to moon someone, and in the process of her checking out his foot or his leg that was hurt.
Yeah, and she was checking out his foot.
Yeah, in that process, he spread his ass cheeks and then put her face in his taint, and his junk was all over her face. That to me, that takes some amount of skill. Obviously, he must have been practicing or something, because The way that it sounds is that like everything was on her face that could be on her face.
I'm just glad they didn't have social media back then, because we would have seen Peyton's ass all over Instagram,
Yeah,
Twitter,
God.
Facebook.
Yeah.
It would
We
have been
never hear
everywhere.
the end of this. We might never hear the end of this. Especially if there was social media. Brutal.
No, but go back to the original question. I think if it continues to go in Brady's favor, you'll hear a sentence or two about it on like the sixth set Sports Center. They won't make a big deal about
No,
it.
because it involves nothing bad happening to Brady. The minute that something bad happens to Brady, it's gonna be like a LeBron-esque ESPN show where it's gonna be all Brady.
Now, I know that we don't really agree on Deflategate on this, because I think the suspension should have held. Not that I'm saying Brady did whatever they think he did, but in the collective bargaining agreement, players union gave Roger Goodell the power to suspend players for pretty much any reason he wants to. So
Right.
I mean, that's what they're fighting now, is that he overstepped his boundaries, and this didn't really. They gave him this power.
Okay, so they
Is it a bullshit charge? Absolutely. Is
Yeah.
it worth 4 games? Maybe a $25,000 fine if he was found guilty.
there's been like 4 teams that have been caught with this issue, and none of them were suspended. It was all swept under the rug, and they paid the fine. But my question for you, because of what you just said, is obviously he's well in his rights. You know, it's in the CBA. If there's no evidence, whatever, there might be a smoking gun. When you look at the transcripts, you look at the text, all that stuff, there might be a smoking gun. But if there's no actual proof of a ball being deflated or balls being deflated during games or before, during pregame, where are we? I guess my question is, are fans like myself overreacting to the fact that Roger Goodell has the power to suspend 4 games when there's no actual proof that there's been ball deflation? Do you get what I'm saying? I know that was kind of long. It sounded really stupid, but
I think that
if you gave him 4 games and there's no concrete proof that he deflated the footballs, which I'm not saying that there was no footballs deflated. I could really care less, honestly. But if there's no proof, why is he still suspending him for 4 games?
well, we don't know if there was no proof. I don't know what they have. They don't release every bit of information they have. They
Right,
might have something. I mean, we really don't know.
Right.
But as far as your overreaction, I think you overreact as a Patriots fan just because it's Tom Brady. If this would have been Peyton Manning, nobody in the New England region would be bitching and moaning about a 4-game suspension. You guys would have been joking about it and laughing, ha 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 ha. But since it's your guy, that's when everybody wants to stand up and throw a fit.
Right. So, do you think? Do you think myself? Do you think I'm out of line for saying that Goodell's out of line for the 4 games when there is no actual proof of, ball deflation?
Well, I don't
Because you
think
can't-
you're so
you
much
can't
out of
suspend him.
line, because I think it was ridiculous.
You can't suspend him with a smoking gun because you don't know where it was aimed or if it was shot by Tom Brady.
Yes, but I mean, you're not out of line. I thought the suspension was to begin with,
Yep.
but as a Patriots hater, I had to jump on your shit about it.
Oh, I know. You were pumped. You were
But-
absolutely pumped. The look on your face, it looked like LeBron had won like 6 NBA titles in one day.
I don't know if that's possible, but if it was, only LeBron could do it.
But that was your face. That was your face. When you walked over, when I was standing over by the TVs, and you walked over, it'd look like you had just won the Powerball, at least.
So,
Dick.
like I would say, the suspension was ridiculous, but Tom Brady, as a member of the union, gave Goodell the power to do that, and now you're trying to fight what you've given him the right to do.
Yeah.
That's the only argument I have for it now.
But he's got the right to appeal.
He does,
Yep.
and he won.
Yep. As of right now, we'll see what happens. Be interesting. Mom, that's a good question. That's a good question, Mom. So, I guess to really answer the question is, if it goes Brady's way, you pretty much think it's going to get swept under the rug. But if it goes Goodell's way, it's going to be front page news all over the place.
Yes, sir.
Yikes. Oh, boy. So...
And then we'll have to deal with it for another 4 months every single day. Over and over and over. And we'll have to hear everybody's opinion all over again.
Yeah, everyone's a judge. Everyone's a friggin' lawyer. Everyone's something during these situations. You got anything for me, man? Next question.
Yes, sir.
What you got?
Speaking of baseball, since we are going to be discussing that a little bit later, just Jeremy would like to know, with spring training coming, what are your expectations for the Red Sox this year?
On the whole, for the whole year? Is that what it is? We're going to do the whole year?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm assuming he just wants to know what your prediction, I guess, would be or something.
Okay. I mean, my expectations are going to be really high.
I'll add on to his question. You give me your expectations and then give me the realistic goals.
Okay. That's cool. The expectation of all of America for the Red Sox is going to be through the roof. They spent a lot of money in one particular person to make a long playoff run and potentially win a World Series. You got Poppy in the last year of his deal. We're going to wonder how he's going to play. Is it just going to be a farewell tour where we're looking at, a situation like Kobe Bryant, who's just happy to be on the court and score 17 points a game? Is Ortiz going to be happy to hit 230, 240 and drive in, 60 RBIs and hit 15 home runs just because it's a farewell tour? I hope not. I hope he plans on playing his ass off because the Sox are going to need it. I think, like I said on the last show, that Hanley is going to bounce back, and I think he has to bounce back in a big way if they want to be successful. And I put that a lot on Pablo Sandoval as well in that disgusting-looking contract. So, countrywide, the expectation for the Sox is going to be World Series or bust. My expectation for them is bare minimum to make the playoffs. You don't sign, a stud pitcher for 7 years, $217 million to be a borderline, wild card team. All right. So that's just the first part. So there's your ace. Clay Buchholz, I've already gone on this show and stated that Clay Buchholz is going to have a Cy Young type of season. He's going to, he's going to be that second pitcher. All that pressure is going to be taken off of him, in a sense.
And I think you were hanging out with Cheech and Chong that day.
Yep, that was a good day. So, I think Clay Buchholz is going to have to have a good year. For him, it's a contract year. He's making $13 million this year, which is quite a bit of change for someone who hasn't pitched over like 140 innings in his career. But he needs to pitch near 200 innings. I've gone on record to say it's going to be the first year that he does it. We'll see what happens. Porcello needs to bounce back. Joe Kelly needs to pitch like second half Joe Kelly. And we'll see about Eduardo Rodriguez. Obviously, he's got a ton of potential. So I expect David Price to be in the top 2 or 3 Cy Young voting. I expect the Red Sox altogether to be a 90 to 93 win team and probably win the AL East. But I mean, it's not going to be easy this year. The Yankees end of the bullpen got ridiculously better. So all they really need from their pitchers is to pitch 5 or 6 innings So as soon as they get there, that game's over. And Blue Jays, I think they're still going to be there, even though they did lose Price to the Red Sox. They still got a really good rotation. Their offense is obviously sick, so they can really bail out the rotation any given night with their order. But back to the Sox, the bullpen shored up near the end. They're still filling in a few spots here and there. They just signed Carlos Marmol, former All-Star, to a minor league deal. Like I said about Hanley, he's got to have a big year. I think he's going to have a big year, but my expectation is playoffs or bust, and probably 90 to 93 wins. And I actually want to hear your opinion on that. I just kind of gave a really long one, but how do you think they're going to play this year? Because I honestly think last year and the year before was a little. I wouldn't say that's what the Red Sox are, because the roster hasn't changed too much, but now they're expected to make the playoffs. So how do you think it's going to go?
I think they really need another starter in the rotation.
I don't disagree with that. Before you go on, I do not disagree with that. I do believe that they need another starting pitcher, but if they don't, I think that Clay can be that legit too, and Eduardo, and Joe, and Rick, and all that stuff. So, but sorry to interrupt.
No, I was just going to say, so you need another starter in the rotation. I think that you got a career year out of Xander and Mookie last year. So I'm interested to see, are they going to stay on that path? Can Mookie take it to the next level? Because I think he has the talent.
He's my under-the-radar player to be in the top 3 in MVP voting this year, by the way, Mr. Mookie.
So with the career years that they had in a piss-poor season overall for the team, they were the only bright spots on your team last year.
Yeah, well, them and Ortiz.
Oh, I don't even count him. You can expect the same numbers from him every year.
Yeah, but if you're looking at bright spots, there's really only 3.5, and I put the half on Eduardo Rodriguez.
So, can they have the same year that they had last year, or are they going to take a step back? We'll see. Can Panda be playoff Panda, or are we going to see the same Panda that was there last year? Because that was a joke.
That was terrible. That. I don't even know what I could compare him body wise to. He looked like Cecil Fielder, except the difference is Cecil Fielder could hit and Pablo can't. Did you see that Red Sox fan at the San Francisco Giants player day thing that they had? And
No.
Bruce Bochy was up on the stand, and there was all Giants fan, and there was a Red Sox fan right in the middle of it. You didn't see that?
No.
It was like a question, a question thing, like a fan day or something. And this Red Sox fan, waited his turn and was able to ask a question. And the question to Bruce Bochy was, "Will you please take back Pablo Sandoval?" And the crowd laughed, just went nuts. And for the most part, everybody was like, no, that's your problem now. So
just to keep going, I think the health of Dustin Pedroia will be key this year. Can he stay healthy?
Yep. Very good point.
And then can JBJ actually hit major league pitching on a consistent basis, or is he going to be a 215 to 220 hitter with great defense? Can you live with that?
To me, that's in my top 5 storylines for the year. You got Hanley, Pablo. I don't worry so much about Mookie or Xander really that much right now, but I look at that and I say, can he be second half? And even if he's part second half JBJ, I think they'll take that. Because wouldn't you?
I would take it. You know me. I've been trying to get him on my team for a long time.
I know. But I mean,
me and you play this game where we're like fantasy general managers, and I offer you trades, and you always turn me down every time.
Well, give me something that I actually want.
I offer you good deals.
Just give me something that I actually want. and then we'll make a deal.
Well, I do have the #1 farm system in the big leagues right now.
Yeah, well, I got to be damn near, pretty close to you, I would think. Like, my farm's loaded.
You want to keep facing the nation? Because I actually have a question from my wife, Miss Ronna May.
Uh-oh. Yeah, let's keep facing the nation. Let's face Rana right now.
She's a big rowdy Ronda Rousey fan.
Yep.
And even after the loss, she's still a fan, unlike most people that jumped off the bandwagon. And that's kind of the question, where the question goes. She wants to know, Ronda was on Ellen DeGeneres and said she was contemplating suicide after the fight.
Yep.
And she wants to know if you think that that's more of true, or if that's just a story that she's trying to put out there to try to get back into the good graces of the country, because before the fight she was the hottest thing going.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And then once she got knocked out, 99% of the people jumped off the bandwagon.
Which is wrong. I mean, everybody's looking for that next best thing, which is, I guess it's natural, but it's kind of annoying, you know.
Do you think that the suicide talk was just trying to get back into the good graces of the country and trying to get people back on her side?
I think it's part of it. I wouldn't say it's the whole thing. I did get to see a glimpse of some of that interview with her. See, I look at it like this. I say part of it is to get it back in America's and whoever in the world was, you know, Ronda fans in her good graces, you know, to let people know that she is human, you know what I mean? So, you know, even the best fall sometimes, you know. So, Tom Brady's lost twice in the Super Bowl. So, so
Muhammad Ali lost fights, man. Mike Tyson's lost fights.
Exactly. So I think part of it is a little bit of show, and I think, you know, she wants people to see that she is more than just, you know, a fighter. She is a human being, which I don't have a problem with. So there is that. And then there's the other side where I wouldn't be surprised if she at least contemplated it, but I don't mean that in a bad way. And I would say that the only time she would have really thought about that is right after it happened, like when she was in the hospital, or, you know, when she came back out of the hospital, because it was so.
Well, she said she was in the trainer's room. That's when she was thinking about it.
Oh, really? So
right after the fight.
Okay. So spur of the moment, you know. Like, we give Cam Newton a bunch of shit for all this, for not being able to take it. And we got to kind of put Ronda in that category as well. But, you know, when Cam's going through that, I do understand why he was how he was. He just lost the biggest game of his life. And the same thing happened with Ronda. She lost the biggest fight of her life when everybody was counting on her to be able to come through. So in that spur of the moment, I'm not surprised that she thought about it. You know, you just lost, you know, the biggest fight of your life. All your fans instantly turn on you because they're bandwagon jumpers, not even real fans to begin with. So in her mind, she's bummed that she lost, and she doesn't know, you know, if she's ever going to be able to reach that glory again. So I'm not surprised that she, you know, thought about it. Would she have done it? I would like to think that she wouldn't, and I hope that she wouldn't. Just it's a game, you know. She's still young. She's got her whole life ahead of her. So I think part of it was probably a ploy to get some of her fans to really realize, like I said, that she is human. But I wouldn't have been surprised if she actually did think about it for a minute. You know, it was the biggest.
I think I'm the only person. I was gonna say, I think I'm the only person in the world that thinks when she comes back and has a rematch with Holly Holm, she's going to destroy that chick rather quickly.
I don't really know. I hope she does, because I don't really know Holly Holm that much. You know, after that match happened, I, you know, watched some of her other previous stuff, and she looks like a good fighter. But I'm pro Ronda. I think she's a great fighter. You know, I'm not a big UFC fan like you and Chris are. You know, I only pay attention to, you know, a handful of people maybe. Michaela's actually one that got me into it. GSP is another one. He got
I hate
sick.
that prick.
Michaela really liked him when she got me into it. So, but
Oh, she likes him. That's why he got kicked out.
hashtag Michaela Gate.
That's right.
But I am pro Rhonda, and I hope that she comes back, and I hope she does stomp Holly Holm, because I think Rhonda's a good fighter. So
I got one for you from me.
what you got?
Gerard Mayo announced retirement.
Bummer.
So that kind of leaves a hole for the Pats on the defense. It takes away from them trying to refill the offensive line.
Do I think it's going to take away from it?
Yeah, because they're gonna have to spend money there now.
Yeah, they're going to have to spend some. I don't think it takes away from it so much. I still think that they can focus on the offensive line, whether it's via the draft or it's via free agency. Belichick knows who he wants right now already. I'm sure he's already gone through scenarios on people getting cut because they are going to want too much money, or free agents. I'm sure he's already done his due diligence. He's already gone to pro days for these college kids and everything. So I trust Belichick's judgment. So while it does take away a little bit, in terms of having to focus on the offensive line so much this offseason, which already got better without, cutting or re-signing or signing new offensive linemen, because they got their old offensive line coach, Dante Scarnecchia, back, who, can turn, a mud puddle into a glass of wine with some of these no-name offensive linemen. But
What is he, like 103?
he's 68. It's not bad. Dick LeBeau's like 480, and he's still making moves. So,
Yeah.
but it does take a little away from it. But they do have players that have played for them before that have gone on to other teams and been not nearly as good. So, like last year, they got Dane Fletcher back, didn't play a snap because he got hurt. I see them re-signing someone like him, or just going to get someone that they could mold into their system. It does take a little away from it, but I don't think it takes too much away from it. Does it hurt the depth?
Waste a draft pick?
What's that?
Do they waste a draft pick on it?
I wouldn't be surprised. But if they don't, they're going to bring in a handful of undrafted free agents. So, for the foreseeable future, I still think they're set at linebacker, but they'll get some depth. I mean, Hightower got hurt, Collins got hurt, and they had some. They got some backups there, and Fleming and all that can play, but linebacker depth isn't so bad, but they could probably use one or two for camp. But I think most of it's going to be on that offensive line. So that's a good question, dude. That was a really good question. I got one from Ryan, and I know this has to do with the Detroit and Orlando trade, and I know you got that one in front of you. So what was that deal?
Harris to Detroit for Jennings and Ilyasova.
Yep.
Heading to Orlando.
Yep.
Good move by both teams.
I thought it was a good move for both teams. Detroit gets a young forward who can ball, flat out ball, and Orlando gets two good scores, but one's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. So, and I know that goes right into what you're going to say. So.
And the other one's got a non-guaranteed contract for next year.
Right. So that goes on to what I know is probably going to be part of your point in this. But Ryan wants to know how you felt about the Tobias Harris and Brandon Jennings and Ersan Ilyasova trade.
Well, it's good for both teams because Detroit gets a little younger and they get a decent player in Tobias.
Yep.
Orlando, it works out for them because it's kind of a addition by subtraction. There was a little locker room tension, and Tobias was the main issue.
Really? I don't see that. I don't see him doing that, but
he was.
Yep.
So they're one of the youngest teams in the league, so they add a couple of veterans.
Yep.
And plus, both of them have already played for Skiles in Milwaukee.
Oh, yeah, forgot about that. Completely forgot about that.
So they know the system. They know what's expected from them.
Yep.
And Jennings, he coming off the injury that he had with the torn Achilles, he's slowly getting back into it, and now he's there with Alfred Payton, so he's not going to be expected to take on the whole burden.
Okay. And Ryan kind of had a tail to this. With Brandon Jennings going to Orlando, does that hurt the value, or does it hurt the the growth for Alfred Payton? Do you see any kind of controversy there?
I don't think so. I think it actually helps him because it puts a veteran behind him to give him the push to kind of like, if right now he's in a position where they don't have anybody that can replace him.
Yep.
So when there's no competition in the position, you see it in the NFL slack.
Yep.
So now that he's got somebody there that can replace him, I think you'll see his game step up a little bit.
Yep. How do you think Harris fits in Detroit? Because I think he fits pretty well.
I think so. And I think you're going to see his scoring go up a little bit.
Yep.
He's only
because he was
14 points a game right now, but he's a 20-point-a-night guy.
Yeah, and he was last year. But
Yeah.
this year he's like the fourth or fifth option. I think in Detroit he's probably going to be bare minimum a number 3.
Yeah. So, like I said, and for 3 more years. So they pretty much went and got I guess you could call it a good free agent without waiting until free agency.
Yeah, well, he was a free agent this past year, and I think they did have interest in trying to sign him, but he ended up opting to stay with the Magic. So, and you think all this is going to play out to get KD to Orlando, don't you?
I do, because it's going to free up $17 million in the cap for the next offseason.
I'll tell you what, like I said, if this plays into what you were told, I'll give you some Adam Weisers, man. I will, but I still don't see it, man. But
I mean, a lot of people think Orlando, Kevin Durant, why would he go there? And I think I kind of broke it down a little bit on the last show that we talked about it. No state tax. They can offer him a boatload of money with the cap going up. You've seen the trouble that he's had with the media in OKC, which is a smaller market like Orlando. So I just don't see him going to a big market like LA or Washington or New York. He'll flip out. The media will kill him there.
I think he's going to regret it. But I've been wrong before. I've probably been more wrong than I've ever been right. So, and
in Orlando, it kind of sets the expectations a little lower. Like, he's not going to, if he went there, he wouldn't be expected to put him in the final.
Right. But
if he goes to the Lakers,
his team,
they're going to expect finals first season.
Yeah, but you don't think he is going to expect the need to go to the finals? He's not getting younger. I know he's young, but I mean, how can you sit there and not think that he's going to get at any point? I guess not uncomfortable. I can't really think of a word but how can you sit there and not think that he's going to be happy, or do you think he's going to be happy to be potentially on a team that is probably going to be a 6th or 7th seed with him?
No, not at first, but I mean, they can make moves to build around him. They'll have a solid foundation. And the East, I think we can all agree, is a lot easier to get through than the West.
I agree with that, but still, I mean,
right? If he signed in the off season in Orlando, I could top 3 seed, no problem.
I don't know, man. I mean, I guess he could lure another free agent to go there because he's probably the second best player in the league. But I mean, I don't look at that roster and I'm like, wow, I need to go there. I don't look at that roster and think that one time.
No, you don't. But he can go there and be the guy. He doesn't have to share that with anybody else like he would. Like if he went to Golden State, which is a rumor, and Steph Curry's there. He goes to Washington. They got John Wall. If he goes to LA or stays in OKC, he's going to get Westbrook for a year in OKC. And then if he goes to LA, he'll wait a year and Westbrook will show up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, does he really want to play his entire career with a shoot-first point guard?
No, probably not. But I don't know. I don't see that fit in Orlando. But other than the fact that he gets to be the guy. So, I mean, we'll see. Like I said, I'll get you Adam Weiser's when that happens, but for now, I just don't see it. I just don't. So,
We'll see, I guess.
we'll see. We'll see. So those are
I
some
mean, would you be completely shocked if he signed in Orlando?
No, I wouldn't be shocked, but I just, outside of the fact that they need a legitimate star, a legitimate go-to guy, I look at that roster and I go, why would Kevin Durant want to go there? Like, I think he would be better off. He would be better off going to my team. They're more ready. They need someone like that. So that's why I would say, just looking at a roster and getting that one person that could get them over the hump. Kevin Durant is that to Boston. So, I mean,
I understand
he gets to
that,
still be
but
the guy there. He gets to
the
still be
first
the guy
night-
there, and then he is already on a playoff caliber team. Whereas he goes to Orlando, and outside of the state tax, what else you got? A young team.
Yeah. Disney World.
Yeah, I guess, and the Atlanta Braves and all the baseball team spring training facilities, but still.
If he goes to Boston, the first night that he scores 18, he's going to get killed in the post-game press conference.
I don't see
the
it.
Boston media is going to want to know him is and why he didn't score more.
I don't think it's going to matter if they win. Don't think it's going to matter if they win.
Well, I mean, he's won games in OKC and had bad nights and arguments with the media and spouted off at the mouth, and that's in Oklahoma City.
We'll see. We'll see. If he goes there, good for him. You know, he wants to be the man. That's probably a perfect place for him to go. But like I said, just looking at the roster alone, I don't see. It doesn't look, for the lack of a better word, it doesn't look sexy to me. So we'll see.
I mean, they could be a playoff team this year. They could sneak into the 8th seed,
We'll see.
which
Atlanta's
I think
down
I
there right
predicted
now.
before the season started.
You did. You told me long before we started doing this stuff. So I called you crazy then, and I'm still going to call you crazy. So that was a good Face the Nation, man. Let's get right into some NBA rumors and some possible trade scenarios. We got a little bit of time left, so a few rumors out there. And obviously, Celtics, Cavs all need, some help. Clippers need help. That's really it for contenders. Hornets are making some moves. They still want to continue to make some moves. We'll see though. Obviously, we heard the Love to Celtics, Melo to Cavs rumors, but that's quickly gone away. For the Celtics, I see them really kind of standing pat. I don't see them really doing anything big. There was a Ryan Anderson rumor out there today. You and I were talking about it a little bit off air. It does make some sense, but trading a lot for him doesn't make too much sense, if you will. So, in terms of the Celtics, I mean they're already a 3 seed with the roster that they got. So, if they're going to do anything, it's going to be shipping David Lee off to another playoff team that's going to give him a chance to play. Maybe rebuild his stock so we can get another contract. But I don't see the Celtics trading that first pick now more than ever, which I would have done to get Boogie a long time ago. But I don't see them doing a whole lot. The Cavs, your team, the LeBrons, you told me that there's a Joe Johnson rumor, which there was early in the year, but it's kind of resurfaced a little bit. To me, I mean, I see a fit, but I don't think it fixes them. I think they still need a shooter. I think you disagree with that a little bit, but I think the Ryan Anderson thing to the Celtics, to me, that makes more sense for you because you need that spot-up shooter.
True, but I think Joe Johnson gives a different element, like I was explaining to you earlier.
He's
When
my
you
second
have-
favorite player, by the
When
way.
you do what?
Joe Johnson's my second favorite player, by the way.
No.
Bet you didn't know
so
that.
that's why you would never want this to happen.
No. I want
It
Joe Johnson to
all
win,
comes
man.
back around.
I want Joe Johnson to win. He's good. Well, it doesn't matter really where he goes. I just want him to win.
But I mean, well, The point I was trying to make was he's another guy that can score off the dribble. He can create his own shot. So if you have Kyrie, LeBron, Joe Johnson, and Kevin Love all out on the floor at the same time, you pretty much eliminate the double teams. You're going to get a lot of one-on-one matchups, and not so much Kevin Love, but Kyrie, LeBron, and Joe Johnson can all score off the dribble. So, I mean, that's why it makes sense. They do need a shoot.
Joe
But I
Johnson
don't
can
think
shoot.
Ryan Anderson is the answer.
I mean, Joe Johnson can
Joe
shoot.
Johnson, he's not that bad. The
No,
last like 3 weeks, he's shooting 41% from 3-point.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. I'm not. I know Joe Johnson's not bad. He can hit a shot from anywhere on the floor. But to me, that doesn't necessarily solve their problems. Like, he's another ball handler. He could, like I said, he could score from all over the court. But he's a career, like, I don't know, 35% 3-point shooter, which is good. It's very serviceable. But I mean, wouldn't you want more of a spot up shooter, because you've already got two guys that can handle the ball and can really get to the cup whenever they want. You got, you know, a power forward / center that should be playing no more than 15 feet out, but he can knock down a three from time or two. But like you said, Ty Lue is getting him in spots where he's already more successful than he was Blatt. But with those three, if they're driving, or if Kevin Love's posting up and Ryan Anderson's moving around, the top of the key and being able to kick out to him to be a spot shooter, wouldn't you want that more than getting Joe Johnson?
I'll take the shooter, but I wouldn't take Anderson over Johnson. If I could get JJ, I would take him over Joe.
Yeah, but I don't think the Clippers are going to
or
get
even
rid of
Kyle
JJ.
Korver.
I don't know. Like, Kyle Korver might be your next best bet. I don't think they have much in terms of playoff aspirations. And I got to get into Al Horford when this part's over, because I'm starting to get really agitated with this shit. But I mean, Kyle Korver would probably be the best bet for you. But I think they're going to try to get into the playoffs. I don't know how they're going to be able to really unload these guys after being a 1 seed and they're faltering, but they can make noise from being a 4, 5, 6 seed. So I think Ryan Anderson's more of a realistic option for you, and to me that makes more sense, but to you it doesn't. So I guess I don't really get it.
I guess it would depend on what I had to give up.
You probably don't have to give up too much.
I mean, if it wasn't too much, I'll take him just to have another role player coming off the bench, because he's not going to start.
No, but neither would Kyle Korver, or neither would JJ.
Joe Johnson would start, and
JJ
would,
Redick. Sorry,
Joe Johnson would start. That would put Shumpert and J.R. Smith coming off the bench if one of them didn't go in the deal.
I think one of them would.
Preferably Smith, because he doesn't play defense and he's very streaky.
Yep, we'll see. I think you need a spot.
We'll see.
Couple days.
Like, what do we got? Like 40 hours left, something like that.
Give or take. It could get nutty. It could be quiet. I think it's going to be more on the quiet side. I think the biggest deals happened today. 3-team deal with the Heat, Grizzlies. There wasn't anything big. Courtney Lee went to the Hornets. Birdman went to the Grizzlies. And what was his name? Brian something went to the Heat. So nothing really spectacular. The Tobias Harris, Ilyasova, and Jennings deal was probably the biggest deal I think you're going to see. No one really knows what's going to happen to Dwight Howard, and I think that just goes to show you that his market is terrible right now.
Yeah, I've heard a couple different spots for him. I've heard Miami.
Yeah, like today I heard the Hornets. That makes sense. I think he's going to be more of the man. If he wants to be the man, the Hornets are probably going to be the most logical place for him.
Yeah, but I think if he wants to win, Miami's the best spot for him.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, you heard what's going on with Bosch, right?
About his legs or something?
Yeah, they're saying that he's got a reoccurrence of his blood clots, so he's going to be on blood thinners for the next 3 months, which probably puts him out the rest of the year.
Which is too bad. Trade him when I offered him.
Which is too bad. I'm not a Bosch fan, but his game is pretty damn good, and anytime you lose someone like that, it's going to hurt no matter what. But you gotta kind of feel for him. never really want to see that kind of stuff happen to somebody. So
No.
we'll see. I'm fine with how my Celtics look right now in terms of a roster. They do need a wing scorer, and they do need a legit big, in my opinion. But I don't think you need to go get them at the trade deadline at this point. You know, there's tons of free agents next summer, and like Al Horford. I got to go off on this, okay? People are in love with Al Horford, right? I am not, okay? And I'm going to tell you why. Defensively, like, I personally would rather have Kevin Love, and I don't even really know if I want Kevin Love right now. Defensively, Al Horford is probably way better than Kevin Love, which to me isn't really super difficult. But I look at Al Horford offensively, can hit a 12 to 13 foot jumper. I know we splashed a 3 when we were doing our show on Sunday, but he's not a 3-point shooter. To me, he doesn't stretch the floor. It is a legit big. He's got good post moves. He can hit an elbow jumper. But somebody who's 6'10 to 7 feet, who is averaging 15 points and 7 rebounds, to me, doesn't make me want him very much. Does he impact a game a lot? I don't think so. I don't think so. So these people saying that they need to trade this, and that to get this guy, they need to give him the Brooklyn pick. You guys are insane. Like, don't even say it. Just don't, okay? Stop it, all right? If you really want Al Horford, for one, you don't give up all your great assets to get this guy, okay? But if you really wanted him that bad, wait till the next offseason. Wait till this offseason, sorry. He's a free agent. You can just pay for him. You don't lose shit for him. So, enough of the Al Horford crap. You really want him, wait.
I agree with you. For me, I'm not a Celtics fan, as everybody knows.
Obviously.
If I'm holding on to all of my assets unless the person that I'm going to get rid of them for can put me over the hump.
Like, right away.
And there's only a couple of players out there that would be able to do that, and it's not Kevin Love, and it's not Horford. It's more like a Kevin Durant.
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
Maybe a Boogie. I don't know if he could get you over the hump, but he gets pretty damn close.
Yeah, Boogie makes you instantly better. You still need a wing scorer, but instead of being a 3, you're probably a 2, you know? You're still probably a little behind Cleveland. Maybe not too much, but you still need that wing scorer. But Al Horford is not going to get you past Cleveland unless you go get Kevin Durant or something. Which, but I don't know. This Al, I've been holding back this Al Horford thing for like 2 weeks now. Seeing him in Celtics green, this rumor thing is really starting to piss me off. And maybe it'll change. Like if he ends up here and he plays really well, maybe my opinion will change. But right now, I just don't see what people are seeing in him outside of the fact that he's got decent touch. He's got decent touch around the rim, and he can rebound, but he's averaging 6.9 rebounds, not even averaging 7 rebounds a game. So that's not doing what the Celtics would need him to do. And Brad Stevens would obviously get the most out of him. Brad Stevens is an awesome coach. But Al Horford? Really?
I got one for you.
What you got?
That I was reading a little earlier that Sacramento is pretty much dead set on not trading Boogie. But they are willing to move Rudy Gay, and then Ben McLemore is begging to get out of town.
Yep.
And then they're also offering Bellinelli. Would you take a flyer on any of those? I mean, not that I would give up a bunch for him, but I think Rudy Gay would be a pretty good fit for your team.
If I didn't have to give up too much, like if I had to give up one of my own first round picks and maybe like a second rounder and then like James Young and maybe like Terry Rozier, I would do it. He's a good wing scorer. Will he bring you over the top? Probably not, because they still need a legitimate big. But Rudy Gay is very serviceable. I think he's averaged like 18 or 19 points for his career. I think he's averaging about 20 a game this year. But he's a go-to wing scorer. He's very consistent. He shoots over 40% from the field yearly. He's athletic, which is right up the Celtics alley. I personally like Rudy Gay's game. He's long. He can run the floor, which is what they like to do. They need someone to drive. He can do that. I think he's a good pickup. I personally would like it if him and Boogie came in a deal, but we'll see. I would take a flyer on Macklemore because it's not going to take anything but maybe a bag of balls to get him, and he's only 23 years old, so he's still young and can mold into a really good player with the right system. And if that's with Brad Stevens, absolutely you take a flyer on him because it's not going to be much to get him. Bellinelli, that's a guy that you could get on your team. He's a spot-up shooter. He can shoot the three really well. So,
Actually, I just had a thing pop up on my phone that the Cavs are in talks with the Hawks about sending Iman Shumpert for Kyle Korver.
Yeah. Well, we've been talking about it for a few days now. Maybe they were listening to the show. Probably not.
Maybe. What's up, LeBron?
Can you get me some tickets, please?
Make that trade, LeBron. We know you're running the show.
You know he's the GM and head coach of that team, so just leave it right
Make
there.
it JR, not Iman.
You got any more rumors and trade rumors out there? Nothing really coming off the top of my head. This is another thing that I want to get to. I was talking to my cousin Mike today, and he asked how you and I do this. Like, how do we know so much? And basically I told him, like, this is a huge part of our life. And then you went on to tell me that First Take does, on ESPN, of all places, do rehearsals on a show that's supposed to be live on debates. Like, when I talk about this show to people, this stuff is not scripted. Not one bit of it is scripted, okay? All of this is coming off the both top of our heads. All of it is knowledge, some of it good, some of it bad. Obviously, we'll make mistakes on here. But the thing that I appreciate most is that there is no script. There is no paper remotely even near what I do nightly with this page. And I know you're the same way. If you need to look up a stat, whatever, look up online real quick. But from my standpoint, from your standpoint, and even to a certain extent, first round draft pick, no script whatsoever. This is all off the hip, and I'm really proud of that, and I know you are too. So when I talk about this show,
that's what makes it real.
To me, that's what makes this real, and obviously that's why we call it Real Take. They're real takes from knowledgeable people. So when you told me that First Take thing, it really, really shocked me. And at the same time, it pissed me off, which probably going to give me more motivation to really get this out there because it's off the hip. Like, this is real shit, dude. So I appreciate this. Like, this is us. None of it's scripted.
Yeah. No, pretty much it's not scripted, but we'll text back and forth just to see, hey, what do you want to talk about tonight?
Yep.
But that's as far as it goes from there.
That's really it. Don't talk about what our takes are going to be. Nothing. Not going to say how I'm going to say this, how I'm going to say that. I think the biggest thing that I ever really think about before the show starts is how I'm going to open up the show. Other than that, I don't necessarily know what we're going to talk about. We just go with it. And it turns into this.
Yeah, like even during like a work day or something, if something happens in sports, we'll mention it to each other, but then both of us, nope, save it for the show. We'll talk about it because I don't want to know what his reaction is going to be.
Right.
You or Chris's. I don't want you guys to know what I'm going to say about it. That's why we put it on here to get the live reaction.
Exactly. Real take. So this is real, man. None of it's scripted. I know I've said it already 10 times, but that First Take thing really struck a chord with me because I did kind of enjoy the show. And that's one of the biggest shows have on there. What's that?
Real Take's one of their biggest shows.
First Take?
Yeah, First Take is one of their biggest shows. Yep. So kind of makes me believe that every show that they do is
It's
scripted and
gotta be
talked about
scripted.
hours before.
Right. Like, pardon the interruption, around the horn, like all those news reporters, like that makes me think now that that whole list of stuff that they're going to be talking about, they already know. Like every debate, they already know what they're going to talk about. So, kudos to us, man. I'll pat each other on the back on that stuff. So, I appreciate.
Some of it is they're on the whole politically correct, and we're definitely not like that. We just
not.
pop off whatever we want to pop off.
Far from. We're far from
as
perfect.
You can see, like Colin, just some of the bigger talent that they've gone through in the last year. They had Colin Cowherd and Bill Simmons both let go because of the company didn't agree with what their take was.
Right, which is bullshit. That's what made them. They're opinionated, and ESPN didn't want that kind of person there. To me, Bill Simmons is one of the, like, whatever, he's a Boston homer, so obviously I probably like him a little more than a typical person does. But the fact that he would spout out of his mouth whatever he wanted, ESPN didn't want that. They want brainwashed employees.
Pretty much. They want that Disney script, man.
Yeah, pretty much. So, I'll always pat each other on the back on that. Now that I've heard that, there's no reason that we can't be successful, especially with Real Take Nation helping us out daily with our stuff. So,
and they all are real in what they put on the page. They don't hold nothing back.
No, not at all.
If they don't agree with something that, like, we'll throw something up on the page and start a little debate. If they don't like what I say, they don't have any problem telling me.
Nope, not at all. And you'll be the first person to answer them right away too. Whereas anybody on ESPN, even if it is a big company, you would never hear back from them. So we'll always remember our roots.
Like 20 people below them, some schmuck in an office that's running their Twitter account.
Right, losers. So, again, I'm super proud of what we're doing, and Real Take Nation is going to be a huge part of that. So, again, thank you guys. I'll always say it every show. But before we close out, I want to talk about what we're going to talk about on Thursday, which will be out on Friday. It's our baseball show. It's like essentially going to be like opening day for us. It's probably going to be a longer show than this, so I hope you guys have time to listen to it because it's going to be amazing. We're going to talk about every division winner, including wild cards from the AL and the NL. We're going to talk about our Cy Young winners from both leagues, MVPs, Rookie of the Years, Comeback Players of the Year. We're going to talk about, who does what in the playoffs. We're going to talk statistics on particular people. It's going to be a massive show. I'm super excited about that.
Breakout
super excited about it. What's that?
Said a couple breakout superstars.
Breakout superstars, absolutely. We're gonna dig into all of it. So it's gonna be a longer show. You guys, bear with it. You guys are gonna love it. I know you guys will love it, especially the baseball fanatics. There's plenty of them on the page too. So we also are gonna discuss some giveaways. Adam and I were talking last week. We're going to be giving away, not only going to be giving away Sea Dogs tickets, which is a very, very cool thing to do, bring the family and some friends to some Sea Dogs games this year. We'll be doing that more than a few times this year. But there's also going to be contests and giveaway for Red Sox tickets. And I think that's pretty dope, to be honest with you. So just got together with Adam on that, just kind of threw that around and figured, you guys get us through every show and have plenty of conversations with us on the page. We'll do something for you guys. And Sea Dogs tickets, Red Sox tickets are right at the top of the list of stuff to do. Hell, even, as we get further down the line, in terms of part of the year, Celtics tickets, Red Claws tickets, Bruins tickets, stuff like that. So, anything, just, spice the page up, give it a little more flair. So have some fun with it. We like to, we like to, keep our fans happy and stuff like that. So we figure that's something that you guys would enjoy. And I know Adam definitely agrees with that.
Yeah, and I hope that when we send somebody to the Red Sox, they lose.
But at least they got a free ticket out of it. So
They
all that
did, but I
matters,
hope
man.
I hope they have a good but terrible experience at the same time.
They see a good game, but the Sox lose is what you want.
Yes.
You're a dick.
Give me give me a 5-4 10-inning loss.
Whatever. So I know you guys will enjoy that. So definitely, keep in touch on the page. There's always going to be contests. Where I'm currently working, we're currently working on the live shows, which will be on the weekend, just one day on the weekend. Working on that, and we've got some interviews for the show scheduled already. One with a professional athlete already, and some down the road. But I've already got our first one scheduled, which will be in the next few weeks. So be on the lookout for that. I'm not going to give away really no spoiler alerts right here. So keep you guys on your toes a little bit. So that's exciting. So. What do you think, man? You ready to close it out? You got anything I need to add to that?
No, man. Let's do some real takes and get the hell out of here.
Cool. Let's get some tunage. I'm doing it.
Get her done.
Yeah. All right, man. Danger Zone. Kenny Loggins. Great tune. What's your real take, man? You got a couple of them or what?
Yeah, my first one is some teams in the NBA need to make some moves. My team mostly need to make a move to get over the hump, and they need to do it in a big way. To me,
I agree.
Your team needs to stay exactly where they are,
and I definitely agree with that. I agree.
So, I mean that would be the first one. My second real take is with the trade today, Kevin Durant will be going to Orlando.
You are so sold on that. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
God, I'm going to feel like a douche if he goes to the Lakers.
Oh, I'm not going to feel bad for you. The day that happens, I'm going to shit all over you, right?
I'll
and
take
deservedly
it like a
so.
man.
Deservedly so. So... What
are your real takes for the show?
I'm gonna go with the Celtics for my first real take. While I do believe they need to make a big splash, if you will, I don't feel like they should right now. The opportunity to make the splash is going to be in free agency this summer. So
I totally agree with that.
There's plenty of people that can help the team, that are going to be free agents. Don't waste your valuable assets. You still got the Nets picks by the balls for the next 3 years, and chances are those picks are going to be very high. So hold on to those unless the absolute right deal comes along. So Celtics.
Well, I mean, those picks, those high picks are also assets to use in free agency.
Correct.
You can lure big name players when you lay out a plan.
Yep, absolutely. So don't make a move. Just don't. My next take is my Red Sox. They will make the playoffs. David Price will be the top 2 in Cy Young voting. But the big thing is that they'll make the playoffs. That's my real take for that.
Buchholz is going to get...
That's my bold prediction, and I will stick with that until he goes down, which is pretty much inevitable. But
question, does he make it through April?
Absolutely. It's only 4 starts, man.
Okay.
It's only 4 starts.
Yeah, exactly.
It's only 4 starts. Do I got one more? I feel like I got one more. Just hanging there.
You got to dig down deep and get it.
A little bit. Oh. And Roger Goodell sucks. Flat out. The guy made $34 million suspending people last year. Pretty much. Time to move on.
We'll ever know how much money he made.
This is the last year, yes, absolutely. $34 million.
They
Must
got
be
rid of
nice.
that non-profit status, so now they don't have to disclose his
Yeah,
pay.
and that's pretty much exactly why they got rid of that non-profit bullshit. So NCAA's got to pay their players, pay their players too. By the way, that's another real take.
I agree with that, but that can be a deep conversation because how do you do it?
We'll figure it out. We'll get it on one of the next shows. So, in closing, Real Take Nation, I'm asking you to comment on the page, like the page, share the page. Get it out there to family and friends. We're already showing up in different states, so you guys are doing your part. You know, hang in there with us. We're going to bring you guys everything that you need. We got apparel that's going to be on the way, too. I forgot to mention that. So we're already doing big things here. So with that, I am A-Wash, also known as Alex Washington, from Dirty Ass Basement Studios, and for Mr. Adam Little, a.k.a. Dirty South. We're getting out this
You just start
bitch.
calling me Adam LeBron.
Oh, my Christ. Adam James, LeBron Little. Oh, my God. Stop it. Just don't.
Crack open the haterade for the nation.
Crisp. So look out for the show Friday, probably Friday morning, early Friday afternoon. And then look out for the next show on Monday. Baseball show Thursday, a.k.a. Friday. Be ready for that.
And it's going to be a good one.
For the lack of a better term, we're going to be bringing the high cheese. We're going to be bringing the heat on that. So, again, Alex Washington, Adam Little, getting out of this bitch. Have a good night, everybody.
Deuces.